All right, we got to talk about what's going on in France because Marine Le Pen, who is essentially France's answer to Trump, right? She's a very populist right-wing person trying to unseat President Macron from his seat and was probably going to win in this election. However, she has now, because she is the front runner, she has now been banned from running and sentenced to 4 years. She's been convicted on some BS like fraud charges.
God, it's so
Sound familiar?
Right. So familiar.
It's just ridiculous what they're doing to her.
God.
And even Glenn Greenwald, I mean, he was being, I think he was being kind of snarky when he talked about this. He was like, it's just a huge coincidence that the poll leading right-wing populist candidates all commit crimes just in the nick of time to ban them from the ballot, while the establishment's preferred candidates are all super law-abiding, clean, and filled with integrity.
Right.
Because look at the examples that Mike Benz lists: Marine Le Pen, Bolsonaro in Brazil, Imran Khan in Pakistan, Matteo Salvini in Italy, Trump in America. I mean, this is happening all
everywhere
over the world.
Yeah. And then they're all like, we have to save democracy.
Right.
Oh
as
my
they
God.
step on it and like smash it into the ground.
Right. Yeah.
God,
as they take
insane.
poop out of their butt and then they wipe it on democracy. This is what they do. Liberals, man.
It's really getting scary. And this is, I mean, I think it was Michael Schellenberger who had tweeted about this yesterday, calling this a 5-alarm fire. Like, we're literally losing Western civilization. If we have no democratic way of voting the people that we want in office, that is a 5-alarm fire. And here is a news report explaining how, why she was convicted, what the charges were, etc. This is a good little summary.
Okay, so the lawfare being used against right-wing politicians in Europe is being taken to a whole new level. Marine Le Pen, the leader of Rassemblement National, the populist right-wing party in France, has just been sentenced to 4 years in jail, of which 2 suspended, and has been barred from partaking in French politics for the next 5 years. That means that she's been barred from running against Macron for the position of the president of France. She's been convicted for allegedly embezzling European funds, misusing European funds for her national fraction of the party instead of the European fraction of the party, which I dare to bet money on the fact that if any judicial system in any European country would launch an investigation into left-wing parties to see if they were doing that let's say 80% of them would be found guilty of the same thing, because I used to work in the European Parliament, and trust me, this is something that I think happens a lot more than they want you to believe. And of course, we will never know that because they don't launch investigations into left-wing parties, because the whole aim of this is to crush the right wing in Europe, because we're growing too fast. And so the system, the cabal, needs to come down on us through another way. And what do? Lawfare. They're banning us. They're banning our parties. They're banning politicians from running. They're convicting us of hate speech and hate crimes. That's how they do it. That's the new strategy. And, think about it for a second. Embezzlement of European funds. Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission, is under investigation for corruption because she closed a 35 billion euro deal with the CEO of Pfizer via text message. And we still don't have those text messages, but she is the president of the European Commission, and Marine Le Pen is not allowed to run as the president of France. If that is not two-tier politics, I don't know what is.
That's so true. Also, why is she so pretty?
I know. She's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And I would tell you her name, but it's like some long, like Scandinavian name that I can't pronounce anyway. I would butcher it.
So she's basically a Viking. It's okay.
Well, and what's interesting too is that Marine Le Pen, she's talking tough as she should. And she's like, I'm going to fight this to the end. Good. And obviously she's put in, she's doing whatever their appeals process is. She's filed for an appeal. And interestingly enough, they've granted her like a stay on the conviction part. Like they're saying, okay, well, we'll hold off on sending you to prison, but you still can't run for president. So it's very clear that their only goal here is to stop her from beating Macron.
Right.
they're less interested in actually putting her in prison. They just want her to not run. They've made it so obvious.
Oh my
It's
God.
disgusting.
It
It's
is
absolutely disgusting.
It is. And anybody with eyes can see what's going on here.
Yep.
So the liberals can't see it.
Right.
Mhm.
And, you know, she's very, very popular. This was after the sentence was, I guess, read, and she walked out to just throngs of fans.
God. This is just unreal.
And isn't it?
It really, it makes my heart hurt. It's disgusting what's happening.
They hate that there's such populism. They hate it.
It's blatant lawfare. And we've lived through this. We've lived through it. I mean, and we're not done, you know?
Yeah. If you're struggling to lose weight and you don't want to mess with the big giant drugs like the Ozempics and the Manjaros and those mean drugs that do, you know, they do some damage to your body. They might help you lose weight, but they leave a mark. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
And if you don't want to do anything so quite that drastic, you've got another option, and it's from the same makers that give you Field of Greens. It's Brickhouse Nutrition, and now they have lean weight loss. So this is something doctors created it to kind of help you escape this frustrating cycle of losing weight, gaining it back, the whole yo-yo dieting thing. And so they have carefully studied natural ingredients that work in 3 different ways. First, that it maintains your blood sugar, it controls your appetite, and it burns fat by converting it into energy. So this is just a nutritional supplement that you can take to help you on your weight loss journey that isn't as scary perhaps as like an injection once a week. So it's just another option that can help you without doing really, really harmful things to your body. So you can visit takelean.com, and then the code to use for a discount is Chicks20. Chicks20 gets you 20% off of your first order of lean. Lose weight the smarter way with lean. I mean, I guess, you know, the one good thing is that here it's like nobody cared. We were going to get Trump into office no matter what, and there was nothing that could stop him. They figured out a way to stop her, at least for now. And it's really, really scary. It's scary what's happening. Just, you know, JD Vance was right when he was talking about how lost Europe is becoming. Some of the laws, some of the silencing of people that they're engaging in right now is so terrifying. And then some of the laws that they're coming up with are just absurd. For example, they have decided, because they keep having knife attacks in the UK, now they're going to ban swords.
We begin with breaking news. The government has banned ninja swords 3 years after the death of 16-year-old Ronan Kanda. It will be illegal to possess, sell, make or import the weapon from the summer, with anyone caught with a ninja sword potentially facing 6 months in prison. The ban is part of measures known as Ronan's Law, which also requires retailers to report bulk or suspicious sales to police, and an increase to jail sentences for selling weapons to children. The Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, said it's part of a wider mission to try and keep children safe.
Right. Regular knives and then forks are next too.
Oh my God.
That's next. This is the thing. If people want to commit crimes, they're going to commit them.
Right.
It's not the tools. It's the people. You freaking idiots. That's what it is.
And when they have those boxes where they're like, come drop your knives off in this box. It's not the criminals who are dropping off their knives.
Right.
How is this hard?
It is hard. It's hard. It's hard for commies. They don't get it. They don't. They think, oh yeah, the criminal's going to be benevolent and go drop off his sword, his ninja sword.
It's just so dumb. So dumb. So like people, listen, it's not my style, but like a lot of people have decorative swords on display in their homes. And so they have to turn those in. They got to forfeit those now?
Yes,
oh
they do. Yeah.
So dumb. And speaking of dumb laws happening in the UK, it does not get any dumber than what you're about to hear from this reporter.
A toddler was suspended from a nursery after they were accused of being transphobic or homophobic. I just cannot believe this. The Department of Education data revealed the child is either 3 or 4 years old. AD of E, a Department of Education spokesman, said all pupils and staff should feel safe. I can't believe I'm reading this. Should feel safe and protected at school and should never face violence or abuse. The Education Secretary has been clear that she expects school leaders to enforce good behaviour, and we are committed to a comprehensive programme of behaviour to support all schools.
I
Somebody, Epic Maddie wrote, "How in the ass?" I don't understand it. I don't understand it either. You know, that kid is probably a racist too, and a sexist, and an ageist.
yeah.
I mean, that kid is the biggest bigot on the planet. Seriously, what
And
a
the
jerk.
microaggressions from that 3-year-old are
just
off the charts.
I mean, just at a level we've never seen.
And the cultural appropriating,
Totally,
it's so bad. And he's constantly misgendering. Constantly.
It's out of control. I mean, it's you know, that kid calls his mom and his dad as if he would like assume the gender of his parents. What a dick.